What if the most common financial advice you've ever heard is actually the very thing holding you back from getting rich? We're about to dive into Rich Dad, Poor Dad, a book that's all about a radical shift in your mindset to build real, lasting wealth.
See, it all really boils down to this one conflict you've probably seen your whole life. One path says, you earn your living through sheer hard work. The other path, it says, earn your living smartly. And believe me, this single difference in philosophy is the key to everything we're about to unpack.
So this conflicting advice comes from two central father figures in the author's life, and each one had a completely different blueprint for what financial success even looks like.
And here's the crazy part, the paradox at the heart of the story. The poor dad is the author's actual father, a highly educated guy with a stable government job who struggled with money his entire life. Meanwhile, the rich dad was his friend's father, a business owner who ended up becoming one of the wealthiest men in Hawaii. Right away, this teaches us the book's core lesson. What makes you successful in school doesn't necessarily make you successful with money.
Now, this was Poor Dad's mantra, and it probably sounds super familiar, right? Go to school, get a good job, and play it safe. It's that path of security that, let's be honest, most of us are taught to follow. But the book argues this path, this safe path, almost never leads to real wealth.
So what was Rich Dad's secret? Well, it wasn't about working harder. It was about understanding one fundamental rule of money that Poor Dad just never learned.
And here it is. This is the idea that changes everything. Don't work for money, let money work for you. See, Poor Dad's whole life was about earning that next paycheck. Rich Dad's life, it was all about building systems that generated paychecks for him, even when he wasn't actively working.
Okay, so how do you actually make your money work for you? It's definitely not about just getting a raise. The secret, according to Rich Dad, is all about financial literacy, learning the simple language of money that, for some reason, they just don't teach in schools.
It all starts with one really simple distinction. You have to know the difference between an asset and a liability. And Rich Dad's definition is just brilliant. An asset is anything that puts money into your pocket. Think about it, a rental property collecting rent, stocks that pay you dividends, or even a book that earns royalties.
And a liability? Well, it's the exact opposite. It's anything that takes money out of your pocket. And this is where the book gets really controversial. That shiny new car, your credit card debt, he even argues that the mortgage on the house you live in is a liability. The rich, they focus on acquiring income-generating assets. Everyone else, we tend to accumulate liabilities that we think are assets.
So, Rich Dad's philosophy is really broken down into these 6 rules. But they're more than just rules. They're a blueprint for thinking like an investor instead of an employee. It's all about building your own business, your own asset column, on the side. It's about understanding how things like taxes and corporations really work, and using your job to acquire skills that will help you build your assets, not just to earn a paycheck.
This all sounds great, but how do you actually start doing it? I mean, where do you even begin? The book actually gives a pretty clear 3-step path to start changing your financial future.
It really all boils down to this. First, you have to learn. You have to educate yourself about the language of money. Second, you build. You use your spare time and extra cash to buy or create assets that generate income for you. That's what minding your own business really means. And third, acquire skills. Treat your job like a training ground to learn things like sales, marketing, and leadership, skills that will help you build your own thing down the road.
And this is the ultimate takeaway. We are all taught to chase a bigger salary. But for most people, more income just leads to more expenses. So true wealth isn't about how much you make. It's about how much of that money you can turn into assets that keep making more money for you.
So, what does all this mean for your financial future? Because this isn't just a book summary, right? This is really about a choice between 2 completely different financial paths.
At the end of the day, Rich Dad, Poor Dad offers a new operating system for your financial brain. It's not about some get-rich-quick scheme. It's about a fundamental rewiring of how you see money, how you see work, and what your path to long-term financial freedom actually looks like. So, it all comes down to this one simple question. You've seen the 2 paths laid out. You can work for your money, or you can have your money work for you. Which dad's advice are you going to choose? Because that one decision will absolutely define your financial future.